Good evening. Welcome to the Black Conservative Voice with David Colbert here on the CTM News Network, the Voice of Truth. We have a special guest today, Miss Ola Hawatmeh. We're going to begin a little bit about sharing a little bit about her and also the district that she will be representing. After she's representing New York, she will be representing New York's 19th Congressional District. In November, she will be elected, I'm predicting. We hope and pray that she is, because we do need a Republican in that area. After redistricting in 2012, the 19th District comprised of all of Columbia, Delaware, Green, Otsego, I don't know how to pronounce this, Schoharie, Sullivan, Ulster counties, and parts of Broome, Dutchess, and Montgomery, and Rensselaer counties. These names. The 19th District borders Vermont, Massachusetts, Connecticut to the east, and Pennsylvania to the southwest. Democrat President Barack Obama won the new district by 6.2% in 2012, while Republican Donald Trump won the district by 6.8% in 2016. And from 2003 to 2013, the 19th District was composed. Okay, let's move on. Ola is running for, as I said earlier, for the 19th Congressional District in New York City. She is endorsed by the National Rifle Association, the New York State Conservative Party, and the New York State Troopers PBA, the National Pro-Life Alliance, 2A Sanctuary, and the Kingston officers. Ola is a business owner, designer, philanthropist, and conservative activist. As the daughter of Christian immigrants from Jordan, she has a unique understanding of what it means to pursue the American dream, and she's running for Congress to ensure that the freedoms and ideas that make our country great are preserved for the generations to come. Ola has been recognized as a top local female business owner and as the most influential woman. She founded her first company in 2004, Mom Me Makeover, a company that specializes in makeovers to help others look good inside and out. Now let us welcome Ola Hawatmeh.
Hi, well, I'm running this campaign as a write-in. I'm running this campaign as a write-in, and it's like no other campaign you probably ever seen. I have farmers, small business owners. I have a lot of people in the district who have recognized they have a voice. Here's someone that believes in them. You know, we had primary night. I won. Here comes absentee ballots. There are 8,000 missing ballots. I support the party, and I told them I support them, but when I'm hearing crickets come back to me, that to me says that the district is being neglected. People's questions aren't being answered. People are not being addressed, and I cannot turn around and say, okay, I'm not here to help. No, I'm going to do everything I can. Right now, we have an army out there because there's a war on our hands, and we cannot give up, and I will not give up. And so I'm praying that we do win. I have a lot of supporters from county to county, and we are out there knocking on doors, putting up signs, doing things that not just like a typical campaign. This is straight from grassroots. It's straight from the people. This isn't a campaign, Ola for Congress. This is Ola for freedom. This is Ola for the people. It's me and the people.
Okay. Very good. Could you tell us a little bit more about Ola the person and your life as you did? I think you had a video where you kind of reviewed who Ola Hawatmeh is. Could you elaborate a little
so
more
Ola's, well, the most important title that I have is a mother. I'm a mother of 3 boys, 2 in college, and a 15-year-old, and a philanthropist. I think everything that I do from starting Mommy Makeover to my first charity makeover for a cause to becoming a fashion designer and deciding to run for Congress. All of that, one thing in common, creating a purpose, making a difference in people's lives, creating influence, influencing them with letting them see the confidence that they have, letting them see the light that shines within them, because you never know.
Yes,
Stopping one person and giving them, letting them see the confidence they have, the difference that they can make.
Okay, all right, very good. I'm going to start asking you a few questions here on the different issues that are addressing the area there in District 19. First of all, what would you do to enhance those or to improve on those programs as far as small businesses and stuff go in the economic community there, the business? I know we had a lot of problems during these riots and everything else, but what is your plans for the community in regard to business and the economic condition there?
Well, small businesses are closing down, and New York 19 is like a ghost. It's a ghost town from county to county. There are 11 counties. In each county, it breaks my heart because businesses are closing down. The streets are empty. Why? We're getting this money coming in. I know Delgado has stimulus checks for business owners and business infrastructure. Where is it going? We need to bring jobs into the district. I know that I've spoken to manufacturing companies outside the country, but everything made in USA, let's use that. Let's bring manufacturing companies in upstate New York. I would love upstate New York to be the hub for manufacturing companies. I don't see why it can't. So we need to create more jobs for the people. We can't just have money coming in and stimulus checks and grants for what? There are no jobs. We need jobs. The people need jobs. We need job placement programs. I volunteered for a couple of charities in New York 19, and when I told them I want to create a job placement programs, they said, no, we can't do that. You can't change our system. There's an issue there. There needs to be job placement programs. We need to hold people accountable. People rely on government check month to month. They need to be held accountable. Because that is a...
we're going to take a short break right now. We'll be right back with you in a moment. We have a little technical difficulties, but we'll be right back with you in a moment here with the Black Conservative Voice and Miss Ola Hawatmeh.
To every single mother, every small business owner, every farmer, every cancer survivor, and every woman out there who has ever been put down by the establishment, it's time to stand up. On November 3rd, we need you to write in Ola Hawatmeh on the ballot under New York 19th Congressional. Make history in the New York 19th District with the first woman to win by a write-in. Don't just vote. Make history on November 3rd, 2020. Write in Ola Hawatmeh.
You'll never get anywhere if you don't take the first step. I'm Ola Hawatmeh. I'm a fashion designer and entrepreneur. I'm the daughter of Christian immigrants from Jordan, and I'm a mom of 3 boys. But I faced challenges along the way. I'm a survivor of domestic violence, but that led me to create charity fashion shows, helping women harmed by abuse. I beat cancer twice and now run a fashion week to benefit cancer survivors and find a cure. Sometimes it's tempting to let yourself stop and become a victim, but I turn those hard times into a runway to start something great. Today, America faces tough problems, and as an outsider with conservative values, I'm stepping forward to fix them. Liberals want to stop our progress and send our country in the wrong direction. But we're on a runway to make America great, and we're not going back.
We're going to take a short break right now. We'll be right back with you in a moment. We have a little technical difficulties, but we'll be right back with you in a moment here with the Black Conservative Voice and Miss Ola Hawatmeh. So welcome back. You're watching the Black Conservative Voice here on the CTM News Network, the Voice of Truth, and I'm your host, David Colbert. Now we're going to move on to another question here for Miss Hawatmeh. Ola, I'm going to ask you in a minute a question, but before I do that, I want to read a little something that I had recently. I did on my program on Thursday night. The Catholic Vote, this Catholic Vote, they call themselves an organization, Catholic Vote. They launched a $2.7 million campaign against Joe Biden in regards to his stance, of course, on life, on the abortion issue, and on education and religious liberties. So I'm going to ask you right now, what are your plans, especially in the community there, in regards to the abortion issues and the abortion issues mainly, and religious freedoms and things like that?
Put a stop. Let's put religion aside, okay? It's murder. It's a crime. Yeah. It's murder. To me, abortion is murder. The fact that Planned Parenthood got tens of millions of dollars during COVID-19 is appalling to me. Yeah. So what I plan on doing, I'm 100% pro-life, shutting down every single abortion clinic. And we can't do it with fighting. I would love to, and I was working on something where I was having fertility clinics team up with Planned Parenthood and having these kids, teens, who want to abort. There has to be counseling. You can't, in New York, they put a stop to that. I'm sorry, if your child wants, if your teen wants to abort a child, that's their choice, pro-choice. No, that cannot happen. There has to be counseling. There has to be something else, because I know 5-10 years down the road, and I have friends of mine who were thinking of aborting, and there was intervention there where they changed their mind. So I would love, the fertility clinics, you pay tens of thousands of dollars, hundreds of thousands, parents pay to have a child. Okay. Here's Planned Parenthood, where they have these teenagers or these women who want to abort their child. I would love to partner up, if not destroy Planned Parenthood, because it's appalling what they get away with. And I'm against it. I'm against pro-choice. I'm 100% pro-life. And if you don't like it, tough luck.
Okay, well, thank you, Ola. Now, moving on, I want to ask you another question here. This is a question that's dear to Americans' hearts, and that is the issue of defending our Second Amendment rights. We need to defend those rights because, of course, they have the right to bear arms and to defend our homes and our businesses from violence and all these other things that are even going on right now in our country. So what is your stance on defending the Second Amendment rights?
The Second Amendment binds all the other amendments. We cannot get rid of the Second Amendment, and because that's what they're trying to do, the left.
Yes.
By creating regulations, just like COVID-19. Pelosi created regulations on the Second Amendment, which had nothing to do with COVID-19. I'd like to remove the SAFE Act and remove regulations on the Second Amendment. It is not put there to hurt us. It's put there to protect us.
All right. Yeah, I understand exactly what you're talking about. Well, the Second Amendment rights, of course, our president is behind the NRA and other organizations. The law and order, they're calling the law and order president. We just have a lot of negativity in the country right now because of the false information being placed out there against even our president and our government. What do you think of this issue that's came up recently? This is a little off subject, but this thing about the Nobel Peace Prize with President Trump and him accomplishing so much, but the mainstream media is ignoring it like nothing's happening. What do you think about that issue that's going on in the media today?
It's a shame. President Trump can come up with a cure for cancer and they'd blow him up and say, oh, he created it. He can do no right. Everything that he does is wrong in their eyes. I praise the president and I love what he's doing, especially recently. He's accomplished so much. I think he's one of the greatest presidents we've had. Him and Reagan, my two favorite. And no one seems to see that. And media just highlights negative things, which they kind of expand on. Or fake news. Fake news is out there 24/7 about our president. How come that is so? As a child of my parents came as immigrants, I know for a fact, I know people who have parents that come from another country. If they were to put down their president, their king, their leader, they would be in jail.
Yes, you got that
right. But they come
right.
here. You look at Ilham Omar. She comes here, Somalia, and she trashes our president with no consequences.
Yes. Well, on that note, we're going to take a short break here. You're watching The Black Conservative Voice with David Colbert, and we are interviewing future Congresswoman Ola Hawatmeh.
Dr. Melinda Morris supports a strong economy, safe neighborhoods, limited property taxes, and promotes an improved education system. Dr. Melinda Morris wants to improve access and insurance coverage for medical care. Dr. Morris is pro-life and will support right-to-life legislation in Austin. Dr. Morris will remain true to her values when she is elected to office. She is going to Austin to promote life, prosperity, and personal freedom for the constituents of Senate District 13.
If you elect me, your taxes are going to be raised, not cut.
What does that mean for you? More taxes taken out of your paycheck. Higher gas prices at the pump and utility bills at home. Skyrocketing medical bills. You'll compete with illegal immigrants to keep your job. An economy in ruins. President Trump is bringing jobs back. Historic gains. 10.6 million new jobs in 4 months. President Trump fixed our economy before. He's doing it again.
I'm Donald J. Trump, and I approve this message.
To every single mother, every small business owner, every farmer, every cancer survivor, and every woman out there who has ever been put down by the establishment, it's time to stand up. On November 3rd, we need you to write in Ola Hawatmeh on the ballot under New York 19th Congressional. Make history in the New York 19th District with the first woman to win by a write-in. Don't just vote. Make history on November 3rd, 2020. Write in Ola Hawatmeh.
Welcome back. You're watching The Black Conservative Voice here on the CTM News Network, The Voice of Truth. I'm your host, David Colbert. We're going to talk a little bit about education. What do you suggest needs to be changed in regard to our children's education in your district? And what needs to happen in the 19th Congressional District there in New York to improve on the educational opportunities there?
Well, we definitely need a better curriculum in the schools. Schools need to open up, a better curriculum, better teachers. We have District 18, A-rated school district, and our school district, New York 19, is not good at all. I mean, I feel bad for my nieces and nephews who go to school. So we definitely need a better curriculum. We need schools to open up. I know a lot of parents and a lot of friends and neighbors, they don't mind homeschooling. They're taking off work. They're living on unemployment. Life is grand. No, it's not. Life needs to open back up. Schools need to open up. We need a better curriculum for our kids. We need counseling. We need better counselors. We need better teachers, because this is the future. Our children are the future of this country.
Yeah, all right. Amen to that. Well, I have a couple more questions here I want to run by you. It says here healthcare. Now, this is some information I got from your website. 10 years ago, we were told by the Democrats that Obamacare would fix our health system, our healthcare system. And yet here we are in 2020 with many of the same problems. Democrats now argue that we need to go even further towards a government takeover, and this is something that we just cannot afford. So you want to tell us a little bit about your health care, and also about, I know you had some experiences in your life where you share with, pre-existing conditions. If you also want to share about that and let the people know where you came from and where your strengths are.
Absolutely. Now, Obamacare promised us he would save us money. He had 4 plans, and the gold, the bronze, none of them. In fact, what happened was we paid more than double on our premiums.
Yes.
A lot of doctors, they had to shut down their businesses because of Obamacare. Obamacare hurt us. It did not help us. So now to get back on our feet, I mean, I have pre-existing health conditions. I've had cancer twice. What's the answer? Medicare for all is not the answer. That's the answer if you want this country to go bankrupt. No. Medicare for all, everyone has to pay something. We can't just give away health care, but there has to be affordable health care. The marketplace needs to be reopened as it was before Obamacare.
Yes.
We need more choices, custom-made choices for health care. I mean, so I don't know why my father, on his health plan, he has free mammogram screening. Why? He doesn't need it. So the marketplace definitely needs to open up. We need more choices. We need affordable health care, not free health care, but affordable. And that's where I stand with health care. And this is someone with pre-existing health conditions.
Yes, I understand. And as I have some pre-existing health conditions myself. The issues are very important. Matter of fact, they're very important to me here in my location, which is in Texas, USA. And it's really a big thing. I mean, even President Trump, he had attempted to come out with with his plan, his health plan. His health plan is a lot better than the other health plan, but still we need some better rates on our premiums. The deductibles are still very high. And it's really hard, especially when a lot of us here in America are out of work, or at least our businesses are closed down. I had another business myself that I was operating, and that business went out of business. So as you can guess, my income went down. So now I'm here, and I started my program here. So this is a whole another direction for me as far as my career and everything else. Now, this issue that we're having right now with this, what do you call it, radical socialism movement, Antifa and BLM, these things that are just, I mean, I'm very passionate about this stuff. But I don't know if you've heard or not, but I'm sure you have, about Mayor de Blasio speaking of closing down parts of New York 7 days at a time, furloughing its employees, even starting with his own self, he says, and the 494 or more people in his office. So you're right there in New York. So what do you think about that? And also you can give us a little information on what you see there in New York, because I know y'all still have a lot of things going on there in your streets as well with the foolishness that's going on with BLM and Antifa. So I'm going to let you speak. Go ahead and go and tell us about what you think, because you're right there in the thick of it.
Our mayor and our governor, de Blasio and Cuomo, they are, I feel, trying to bankrupt New York. That is what they're trying to do. Defunding the police officers, having criminals out in the street, bail reform, and especially recently, now they want to close down. No. What they're doing, everything that they're doing, is to hurt New Yorkers and to hurt New York. They are not doing anything to help our state. I would love to see both of them replaced and gone. If God gave me the power and the strength, I would take them both on. I mean, or I'd recruit others to replace them, because there isn't one person that I talk to, even if they defend, they say we have a great mayor. How is he so great? Look at what he's doing. After COVID-19 and after all these protests, he's not doing anything. In fact, New York City, in the streets, it's scary. It's scary to get out there. And his solution is to shut down? No, that's not a solution. That's just covering up the problem.
Yes, I know exactly what you're saying.
Dealing with it later when it's
Yeah, I know what you're saying. Now, the thing with New York, to me, it was scary before. And now if you got the violence in the street, it's even scarier to me. But when I came there, I came in on a bus one time from New Jersey back in the 70s, and I got stuck there in the city. I couldn't even get out. I was walking the streets of Manhattan for a good while because I went up to watch the ball drop over there. So that was scary even back then. That was like 30 years ago almost. Or 40 years ago, maybe.
Oh,
but
now?
Yeah,
wow.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Well,
but
now think about it. We have no officers. I mean, the NYPD. What do they get paid? $48,000 a year, and they're like the best trained officers. And now they will defund them. Yet you're allowed to destruct and spray paint. You should see St. Patrick's Center and everything else. And stores are being broken into, thieves, and it's okay. To see our city go down the way it's going down, it's not okay. We need to stand up.
No, it's not okay. It's not okay in New York, and it's not okay in Oklahoma or anywhere else in the nation. But the thing is I understand. I study what's going on in the country, the politicians and all that thing. The Democrat Party, for the longest time, is only concerned about their pocketbooks. They could care less about the American people. Yep. They only want things that are going to benefit their party, their pocketbooks. You got one of the richest women in this country standing at the head of the House of Representatives trying to keep the American people from getting just a little few stimulus dollars to help them in their recovery. This is pure foolishness.
And what did she do? I totally agree with you. What did she do during COVID-19? I totally agree with you.
Yeah, she has really pretty much done nothing. They wasted a lot of time back at the end of last year with this impeachment stuff. I was so tired of reporting on that garbage because it was all false, and they're still doing the same thing now. What they need to do is get their behinds up and do their job. I appreciate recently 25 Democrats gathered together to join with the Republicans to create a bill, a $1.5 trillion bill that would help the people to get their stimulus funds and also help in other areas. I'm going to go ahead and say this one thing, and I'm going to allow you to close out. But the thing is that I feel like this whole thing that Nancy Pelosi is trying to do, and I know you agree with me, she's just trying to give money to the cities who allowed their cities to be destroyed and torn apart during these last few months. She is trying to reshore those cities up. And if we don't give her the money for that, she's not going to get the money to the people. What foolishness. What about the people in the Democrat cities? What about the people in the Democrat cities? Makes no sense whatsoever. So, Ola, I'm going to ask you.
I totally agree with you.
Yes. I'm going to ask you one more question. And this is probably not a difficult question, but I'm sure you probably thought of it. But I'm going to ask you this one last question. I have to ask it. Anyway, what makes you believe that you're better for the 19th district than, let's say, Mr. Delgado? What is it that you're going to bring to Congress that will make a difference in this country in the coming years?
I'm going to bring something that doesn't exist in Congress. I'm going to bring compassion. Yes. And compassion does not exist in Congress. My agenda isn't power, isn't titles. My agenda is to serve the people. As a God-fearing woman, as a Christian, as a conservative, that is my duty. I feel, God put me on this earth, and I'm just, I'm doing his work. So that is what I would do differently. It's not about power. It's not about money. You look at, as you said, Pelosi and everything. It's greed and selfishness, and all they care about is the vote. And once they have that vote, all they care about is getting reelected.
Yes. Well, I want to thank you, Ola, for joining us here today. I want to say to the people of New York, get out and vote in November and vote Ola Hawatmeh. She will stand up for the people. She will stand up for our God, and she will continue to represent you there in the district. She's represented in different areas. She's helped the women there establish themselves, and I'm sure she's going to be doing great things in the future. So vote for her.
Yes. Write in Ola Hawatmeh. So write in OLA space Hawatmeh. HAWATMEH. You will see my signs everywhere, and you will see the people in the district. This is a campaign for the people. It's not for me. It's not for you. It's for the people and their future.
Yes. Well, very good. And also, if you want to tell them where your website is, you could go. They can go look on there also as well.
Ola for Congress, OLAFOR Congress.com.
Very good. Well, once again, I want to thank you for joining me here, Ola Hawatmeh. It's been a pleasure meeting with you, and you have a great rest of the evening. God bless.
You as well. God bless you.
To every single mother, every small business owner, every farmer, every cancer survivor, and every woman out there who has ever been put down by the establishment, it's time to stand up. On November 3rd, we need you to write in Ola Hawatmeh on the ballot under New York 19th Congressional. Make history in the New York 19th District with the first woman to win by a write-in. Don't just vote. Make history on November 3rd, 2020. Write in Ola Hawatmeh.
Good evening. Welcome back to the Black Conservative Voice with David Colbert here on the CTM News Network. I want to thank Ms. Ola Hawatmeh for joining us here and spending some time with us. Tell us a little bit about New York Congressional District 19, her race there. I will make this statement. She has expressed to me she is a write-in candidate, so if you're in that area, you'll see her signs of everywhere. Write her in as a candidate for District 19. She really has good ideas and good things for that district. And we'll go into that story later on how things didn't go quite right in the way that they were regulating the voting there. Something dealing with absentee voting. Of course, we know that that's one of the issues they'll be trying to use in November also to cause problems in the race for president and for the remainder of the Congress. Okay, de Blasio says New York could see more layoffs without financial assistance from Washington. Why do you want financial assistance from Washington? When he wanted to help you to stop the violence and all these things that are going on, you were calling a peaceful protest. Now you're saying that you need President Trump and his administration to give you financial assistance? Why? New York City Mayor Bill de Blasio announced Wednesday that the city will be forced to lay off some city employees if it did not receive financial assistance. And federal government setting off a firestorm of criticism. Yes, of course. New York, if the federal government does not come to rescue with financial assistance, New York City Mayor Bill de Blasio says that the city may be forced to lay off city employees like police officers, firefighters, and healthcare workers. Now, see, this is the thing that I told y'all about earlier. That was their objective anyway. They were trying to destroy the city. They were trying to bring the city down. They knew that this situation that they were preventing from being curtailed, like the violence in the street and destruction of property and businesses, there was going to cause a problem in New York. Yet now they have their Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi, trying to push for extra money, $1 trillion to New York and $1 trillion to California. That's really what it's all about, people. Now they want us to bail them out. This is the taxpayers' money we're talking about. They want us to bail them out for their mismanagement of their cities and their states. They found $58 billion, he says, effortlessly for the airline industry. Why are they not helping American cities and states get back on their feet? De Blasio said. Yeah, why are they not helping a Democrat-run cities and a Democrat-run states? It's because the Democrat would not allow them to come in and cause these issues to stop in their cities and in their states and different cities in the states. They kept letting it go on and on and on. At least Wisconsin has some sense to call on the president to bring in the National Guard. Portland is still objecting to those terms. So don't ask us for anything in the Republican Party if you don't want to manage your cities yourself. The mayor's announcement ignited a firestorm of criticism from various unions in the city, of course, representing various groups of city employees. He's talking about getting rid of first responders. First responders are not political pawns. The firefighters are not political pawns. We are the people who protect this city, said Gerald Fitzgerald of the Uniformed Firefighters Association. Our entire social fabric is under tremendous strain, and police officers already stretched thin trying to maintain order, said the PBA president Patrick Lynch. If we cut cops, there will be chaos instead of recovery. Critiques of de Blasio said that he cannot get the city the money it so desperately needs by threatening to lay off the first responders, but by having constructive talks with the president and Congress. The mayor also cautioned that the city is a long way from being able to end restrictions intended to contain the coronavirus, whatever it is that they're doing, because they're shutting cities down while cities all over the nation open up. But in the Democrat-controlled cities and states, they're still trying to keep everything locked down. And he said the rest of the country should not be reopened too quickly either. Thank God things are getting better in New York City, but we still have a long way to go. Yeah, you got a long way to go, but it has nothing to do with the pandemic that went on. It has more to do with your form of government and how you're running our country through the states. Well, we're going to take a quick break right now. We will be right back with you in a moment here on a Black Conservative Voice with David Colbert.
Dr. Melinda Morris supports a strong economy, safe neighborhoods, limited property taxes, and promotes an improved education system. Dr. Melinda Morris wants to improve access and insurance coverage for medical care. Dr. Morris is pro-life and will support right-to-life legislation in Austin. Dr. Morris will remain true to her values when she is elected to office. She is going to Austin to promote life, prosperity, and personal freedom for the constituents of Senate District 13.
Welcome back. You're watching the Black Conservative Voice with David Colbert here on the CTM News Network, the voice of truth. Republican McCarthy, or Representative McCarthy, said this: What has Pelosi done? Democrat majority solved. What have they done? What have they solved in the House? They've solved nothing. They should be embarrassed of how much they have embraced the socialists. This was a report by Fox News. The Republican Party is retaking the House of Representatives is not a far-off fantasy. Representative Kevin McCarthy, a Republican from California, told the Laura Ingraham host, the Ingraham angle host Laura Ingraham. Under House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, not many problems have been solved. McCarthy argued, and Democratic representation is dwindling. You know, there was something else that went on, and we skipped over there. A lot of times we go over news and we don't repeat things that we need to be focused on. You know, they're always talking about all these things about recovery. They turned down a bill that Representative Scott put up with some other people trying to put out a bill to help to govern how the police unions and everything operates the police departments. Yet they rejected that bill in the House. They don't want any solutions other than the fact if you give me trillions of dollars and we'll try to do something to keep money in our pocket pretty much. That's it, because they don't care about the American people. They'd rather keep you broke and rather destroy your life. And then he goes to say, do you know that there are fewer Democrats in the House since Nancy Pelosi held the gavel? He asked, we won every special election we played in, and that was in Democrats' seats, that Democrats won by more than 9 points, and it happened to be in California. Yeah, it was California. This is Nancy Pelosi, all these Democrats, and they're hurting our country. The real question is, what are the results of the Democrats? He continued. They should be embarrassed of how much they have embraced socialists. Name me one problem this Democrat majority has solved. There isn't one. The only one that they came close to solving is when they gave the American stimulus when they agreed with the Republican Party. But ever since then, all it's been is partisan legislation put up by Nancy Pelosi. Not even her own people, and definitely not her constituents. She's not even listening to them and what they need. They got a bunch of people on the street, defecating on the streets, doing things that is disgusting on the streets of San Francisco. Yesterday, we watched the world peace happen for the Middle East on the steps inside the White House. He said, you know what Nancy Pelosi did? She turned down the invitation and she held votes in the floor of the House trying to make members not go there. What kind of foolishness is this? And if you look at old CNN and their sorry self, they didn't even put it up. The only thing they put up there on the screen when they were doing the peace signing agreements, peace agreement signing, they put up there that people were not social distancing. Give me a freaking break. Were the people, the rioters social distancing? Were they? They had masks on, but a lot of times they didn't have anything on. Did you say anything about that? Of course, we all know it's a big fat no. You didn't say anything. According to Politico report, McCarthy is being pressed to oust Pelosi from her seat. But he told Ingram that he doesn't think it's the best tactic prior to the election. I think the best move is to win 218 seats, and that defeats Nancy Pelosi, he said. But you know what else defeats? Jerry Nadler, Maxine Waters, Adam Schiff, and the others. That is our best play right now. In other words, people, we need to get these do-nothing Democrats out of office. Now, if you want to advertise your business or your campaign, we have advertising spots here during this program. Here on the CTM News Network, the Black Conservative Voice. You can advertise here, and our rates are very, very low, and you can get in here, and before the election especially, you can get quite a few spots. We have several politicians that are coming on, and they're getting quite a few spots, and it's going to put them out there. We are seen in at least 37 states across the union. So we're going to take a quick break right now, and we'll be right back at you in a moment here on the CTM News Network, the Black Conservative Voice.
Commander-in-Chief. It's more than just a job. Since taking office, President Donald Trump has rebuilt our military, repaired a broken VA, and eliminated Soleimani, al-Baghdadi, ISIS, the world's deadliest terrorists brought to justice. Today, America is safer and stronger than ever. Because to President Trump, it's more than just a job. It's a sworn duty to keep America safe.
I'm Donald J. Trump, and I approve this message.
Welcome back. You're watching the Black Conservative Voice here on the CTM News Network, the voice of truth. I'm your host, David Colbert. FBI Director Wray says Antifa is real. FBI has cases against people identifying with the movement. It is not fiction, Wray says. Of course, we know that Jerry Nadler says, who is that? Do they exist? Yeah, he's asleep, and so is Nancy Pelosi. All she thinks about is herself and all the millions she has. People, don't vote for Nancy Pelosi. Don't vote for any of these do-nothing Democrats. All they're doing is lining their pockets. That woman's extremely wealthy, yet she is denying the American people a small stimulus, $1,200 per person. She's concerned about rebuilding cities that they're do-nothing Democrats allowed to be destroyed by Antifa and BLM. And they've been in the news quite a bit, and I'm sure they like that they're in the news. Even if they go down, we'll see their ugly heads in the next coming election in 4 years as well, because it is a Marxist organization. They've admittedly said it, and they're local terrorists. They're homegrown terrorists here, and we need to treat them as such. And I'm with the president. He says when he gets back into office, he's going to declare it an insurrection, and he's going to clean up the streets. So if you want your streets cleaned up in your city, re-elect President Trump. He will make an order for insurrection and just go in and take it all out and get it all done. Maybe in one day or in a week. And I guarantee you, once he hits the first city, they will all be getting out of there because they are getting serious times for these behaviors. FBI Director Chris Wray made clear that Antifa is not a made-up right-wing conspiracy theory and that the FBI has cases involving those connected to it. Appearing at a House Homeland Security Committee hearing Thursday, Wray explained that while Antifa is not an organization in traditional sense, it is a movement, and there have been suspects who have claimed to be part of it. Antifa is a real thing. It's really anti-fascism. It's not a group or an organization. It is a movement or an ideology. May be one of the ways of thinking of it, Ray said. And we have quite a number, and I've said this quite consistently since my first time appearing before this committee. We have any number of property predicated investigations into what we would describe as a violent and anarchist extremist, and some of those individuals self-identify with Antifa. Ray's words were in a response to Representative Debbie Lesko, Republican from Arizona, who claimed prominent Democrats have called Antifa a fantasy. In July, Representative Jerry Nadler, we all heard that one, Democrat from New York, had dismissed the idea of Antifa violence in Portland as a myth that's being spread on Washington, D.C. Give me a break. Jerry Nadler, you're a myth. You're a myth. I asked y'all to look at his early tapes, how he was. He's gone way off on the left somewhere. Later in the hearing, Representative Donald Payne, Democrat from New Jersey, asked a clarification about the nature of Antifa, and Ray explained further. Antifa is a real thing. It is not a fiction, Ray reiterated, but it is not an organization or structure. He again described it as more of a movement, but again noted that there have been those who self-identify as being a part of that group. They say, I am Antifa, Ray stated. Republicans on the House Judiciary Committee on Tuesday sent a letter to Nadler, the committee chair, criticizing him for launching fruitless partisan investigations into President Trump while ignoring the threat of Antifa. Yes, the Democrats, that's their way of doing things, people. Oh, no, the American people don't need any help. They're okay through the coronavirus. Yeah, the cities, they're destroying their businesses. They're burning them down, but they're peaceful protesters. They're not trying to hurt anybody. They're just expressing that they're insurrectionists. And they need to be punished to the full extent of the law. If I was the president of this country, President Trump is a very, very nice man. Because I would have sent the military in regardless of what they said. They tried him under a false impeachment. Hey, what the heck? If he's asked to send him in, they're still going to complain. They're still going to say that he did something that was wrong. So it's you darned if you do and you darned if you don't. I want to use the other word. The letter called on Nadler to denounce the left-wing violent extremists and convene a hearing to investigate the unrest engulfing a number of cities across the country. While Nadler and his other Democratic cronies have remained relatively quiet on Antifa, the party's presidential nominee, Joe Biden, has condemned the movement. Give me a break. He hasn't really said anything about Antifa. If you go on the internet, look on, type in Antifa.com under Antifa.com, and it goes directly to Joe Biden fundraiser. What is that? You go to BLM and try to make a donation. It goes to Act Blue, which is part of the Democrat Party. What amazes me is they're not changing these things. They're not trying to cover it up. If you go check right now, you'll see it's still there. I don't know if those organizations prevent it. Now, BLM, I've checked with them. They've changed their general website, but if you want to donate, you still got to donate to Act Blue. So you don't know nothing about the unrest in the city's Democrat Party. You don't know nothing about Antifa, Joe Biden, who has not mentioned the word Antifa in his rejection of violence at all. He hasn't said it. Show me a tape where he said Antifa. He hasn't. He just says, I'm against all violence. Give me a freaking break. Speaking to a local news station in Pennsylvania last week, Biden said he's against all violence. Like I said, I've condemned it across the board, he says. Biden told Pennsylvania WGAL News 8 in an interview Monday referring to violence during the protest. Let me tell you something. One of the reasons I supported Ronald Reagan when he was voted and also President Donald Trump when he was elected, I didn't really vote for him even in 2016. At the time, I was in the middle of moving, so my districts changed, so I was unable to vote by the time the elections happened. But if I had seen his platform, what he stood on, I would have voted for him even back then. But let me tell you what I like about our president. He's got guts. Who wants a wimp for president like Jimmy Carter was? Who wants a wimp for president? I want somebody with some guts, somebody to stand up and protect this country. You got to have a big man, a man that's strong enough to have a will and to stand by his policies. If you have a weakling in the White House, as pretty much I think President Obama was a weakling. He was a very weak president. He didn't care, and I think a lot of it dealt with the fact that he was part of the socialist movement as well. So he hated capitalism. He is one who taught constitutional law, yet he didn't believe it at all. He stood there and put his hand on the Bible and swore allegiance to the Constitution of the United States of America, then tried his best to tear it down the whole time he was in office for all those 8 years. I'm telling you people, you better vote Republican in November, else we're going to have a big mess in this country. And even if we do it, we better hope President Trump assign the military troops, go into the city, and clear up the insurrection. Because that is really what's going to happen, people. A revolution is coming. Antifa has already promised that they're going to go out. They're already doing it in some cities. We need a president that has guts, that's going to stand up against this communist movement. Communist. Yes, you heard me say it right. Communist movement. Antifa is communist, so is BLM. I'm not talking about the peaceful protesters. There are people in that organization who claim that they love black lives. No, they don't. There's so many black children that have been killed in these riots, and black people have been killed in these riots. You hear anything about them? All you hear about George Floyd. Felons, people who committed serious crimes, felonies. Even the same with Jacob Blake, rapist, sexual assault. And they praising him like he's some great king or something like that. You know, we need to stop this foolishness in America. We need to stop glorifying criminals. You know, there's a scripture in the Bible that says that there will be people in the end times would look at people and say, oh, this is okay, and just let it pass. Well, let me tell you something, Democrat Party. The Lord spoke of you in Revelation. And let me tell you this fact. He also said, you will not get away from it. You will not get away with it. He is watching. More so than any other politician or any other party, God is watching. He knows what's going on. And your day is going to come. There's a scripture that also says that the Lord laughs at the wicked because he knows that their day is coming. Well, I thank you for joining me here on the Black Conservative Voice. My name is David Colbert, and I hope you come back and join with me on Monday as we have our next episode of the Black Conservative Voice with David Colbert. See you then. And from CTM News, I want to say, God bless you, God bless America, and God bless the world. And good night.